Un aplauso más para Tegan and Sara, por favor. Welcome to the show. Please have a seat. Thanks a lot for being here. So you're Tegan.
I'm Tegan.
Yeah, and you're Sara.
I know.
I imagine that always is a little bit confused for the people that met you for the first time.
Yeah, I think there's people who've known us our whole lives who still get us
course.
Confused. I think that's laziness, though. I don't think we look that.
I mean, the hair right now, it's helping.
Very similar. It helps, yeah.
No, but it helps.
But it helps because there's the bouffant here in the front. Tegan also has a lot more tattoos, and she talks a lot more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be.
So if we were at a dinner party, yeah, exactly.
So you're from Calgary in Alberta, in Canada?
We grew up there, yeah. Sarah and I were raised in Calgary, Alberta, and then we both moved to Vancouver. But now Sarah lives in New York. She's more East Coast, and I'm still very West Coast. So.
And what about other brothers and sisters, or?
No, my parents stopped after us.
Ah, really?
Yeah, we were too good.
Yeah, they were like, okay.
Yeah, too good. I mean, you don't want to mess it up. What if you have more children and they're not as good as us? You know, that was their thought.
And what about your family? Was a music family?
They liked music a lot. Like our family, we were very obsessed with like Bruce Springsteen and U2 and Cyndi Lauper. So we grew up with like a lot of music in the house.
That's enough.
Yeah, they were very supportive. Like when we started to express interest in playing instruments, they were really excited by it. But they themselves were not musicians. So.
No. But I think they were delighted that we had that. Like they were initially very excited at the prospect of like dragging us out to play for their friends at parties and in the garage. Not when we got into punk music, but initially they were very excited.
So you start playing since kids?
Yeah, we were teenagers, you know, like 14, 15. But we played piano as kids. Yeah.
Because of your parents, like class.
They said they tell us that we asked to play.
Okay.
They could be lying to us. Maybe they forced us. I don't remember. They tricked us.
You have to be musicians. And then when did you realize that the thing was going serious?
I mean, after we graduated high school, we told ourselves we would take like a year to play music, and we didn't think of it as being like a professional decision. Like we weren't gonna be musicians for the rest of our lives, but we thought, oh, we'll just try it for like a year. And I think probably about 5 or 6 years after that, we started to say like, I guess we're musicians. I guess this is what we do. You know, like we never went back to school, and we certainly didn't have any sort of tremendous success right off the bat, but we had enough of a little bit of success that it would sort of keep us going, and then we'd have a little bit more, and okay, let's keep going and let's make another record. And so it was probably in our mid-20s that we started to saying like, okay, this is what we're doing for our lives.
That was happening in Canada?
Yeah,
or
we were
in the US?
still in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when did you start to hit the US? Because it's a tough market.
It is a tough market. Sarah and I were lucky. We had a leg up. I mean, being twins, there was something that made us really stand out, from the beginning. So we signed a record deal really early, and almost immediately they put us out on the road. We toured with acts like Ryan Adams and Rufus Wainwright and Neil Young. And so, yeah, it was like... It started up here,
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was very cool. So, so we've been lucky. America is definitely a difficult nut to crack, if you will. But we've been down there now, touring so much that it's become like a second home. And I found the U.S. audience really embraced us very early. So, but it's definitely difficult, and you have to work a lot. And we spent most of our 20s, in the back of a van. So.
And. The first time you were named by another name as a band, am I right?
Yeah, we had a band in high school. We had a band called Plunk. And it was a kind of a joke because we wanted to be punk rock, but we weren't really that punk, so we were light punk. Yeah. So we called it Plunk. Yeah, we didn't have a consistent drummer, so sometimes we were like doing punk music without the drums, So
it's not that punk.
It wasn't that punk. Or maybe there was something really punk about not having a drummer.
Exactly.
We were unconventional.
You never know.
We never know. Yeah. Well, I mean, now I listen back to that, and I'm glad we branched out in terms of our, the genre. Like, I liked punk music, but I think that we ended up finding more of a niche in pop music,
Yeah, I get it. And now you're living in Canada or in the US?
We both spend most of our time in the States, but
we
still have homes in Canada. Our family's there. We're very close to them. So. Yeah.
And what about the music industry in Canada?
I mean, it's very vibrant, There's, obviously a lot of really amazing Canadian bands that...
Are they still embrace you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah, it's a really great music scene, and we have very big audiences there, and great venues. I mean, it's a good country for music. It's very
A lot of support
supportive.
from the government too. It's not just the music industry, but very different from the United States. In Canada, when we were first starting out, we were able to apply for grants to get money and funding to do little projects here and there, and so there was a real encouragement from both the industry and the government and our parents financially, to continue to go. Not ridiculous amounts of money, not like what people sometimes
some
imagine.
kind of support.
But support,
that's
a little
enough.
bit of encouragement, and it really it helped us get some of our very first international tours, some of our first music videos. So those were really important steps that we needed to take. And if we hadn't had the support of the Canadian government or the industry, I don't know if we would have managed, or we would have ended up racking up debt,
And right now you have tons of Canadian bands touring all around the world.
Yeah.
Hitting like the number ones, winning Grammys everywhere.
Yeah, it's really quite amazing. When we first started touring in America 12 years ago, it wasn't like that. So it's really exciting to see so many Canadian bands getting outside of Canada and having so much support internationally. It seems like when we started to tour, they would always say, "Oh, you're Canadian, you're so nice." That's what Canadians were known for. But now it's like, "Oh, Arcade Fire, Stars."
Yeah.
You're like, "Yeah, totally." Justin Bieber,
Justin
obviously.
Bieber, yeah.
Love the
You
Beats.
cannot forget.
No, you cannot forget him.
And talking about that different kinds of music or genres or artists, you have been associated and have worked with several